July, covering all things professional wrestling. A show by members of the Boston Open Nation. Welcome to the Nation's Corner. Here are your hosts, the Nation's Corner crew.
Good evening, Nation's Corner family, friends, and fans. John in South Jersey here. Welcome to another edition of the Nation's Corner. And it's a very special night for many reasons tonight. But tonight you get the ultra rare, long time since we did one. But you are graced tonight, as you can see, by the presence of the greatest intergender tag team in all of professional wrestling. Of course, I am talking about two breasts, one leg, or as we know it, the three-piece with the side, and that side is GFY. Of course, you have myself and my amazing tag team partner. She is the social media maven of the Nation's Corner. She is the great and powerful Debhausen.
How's it going, man? It's
What's
Saturday. Up? We got a pay-per-view tonight.
Wait, the world is ending. The copy
the
I just read.
Is ending.
The world. No, wait. Oh, that's an apostrophe. Oh, World's End. Oh, the AEW paper. Oh, I thought the world was ending at 8:00 on HBO and Max and Triller and everything else tonight.
So shit! If the world is ending, can I at least watch some great wrestling before we do all that?
I agree. First and foremost, to everyone out there and to you, Deb, happy holidays. We are just a day or two removed from Christmas. We have New Year's coming up. We have Kwanzaa ongoing. And for those who celebrate, also happy Hanukkah. Don't want to make sure we forget anybody in this. But yeah, we have become a year-end tradition courtesy of All Elite Wrestling and their last major any wrestling pay-per-view of the year, World's End, coming up tonight with 0 Hour kicking off at 7 when we get off, and then the main card at 8 p.m. So, yeah, that's what this show was about tonight. And if we get into or have any time left, we'll get into other things that have happened in wrestling. Another busy week, another week of plenty of things going on in the world of wrestling, especially looking forward to 2026 being a big year for basically all the major promotions.
Yeah.
We have WWE building their stories along and possibly some new faces, according to what you see in Reed, showing up on the main roster, especially from NXT. AEW tonight, and the culmination of their year, you have TNA coming to AMC in January. So
with some seemingly new additions to their roster as well.
Yes. If you've been watching the product, which thank you, Sam, but if you've been watching the product, especially TNA, a few new faces and some we're very excited as a crew to see on there and see what happens. But let's get right to it. World's End.
Yes.
AEW's, can we call it one of their big pay-per-views? I mean, they all seem like it.
It is so funny now that you say that. Like AEW's pay-per-view calendar, there's obvious ones that typically are
all out, all in.
Others. Yeah, all out, all in, double or nothing. With the tradition that they've made that since the very beginning. Revolution is always a good one. Full Gear is always a good one. It's really hard to say, but yeah, I would put World's End pretty much up there. No AEW pay-per-view is a throwaway show. Every AEW pay-per-view is awesome, but as the last show of the year, I think it has been built to be a big show and the year with a bang.
Absolutely, and we talk about it all the time on Zoom.
Yes.
2025, in my opinion, AEW has matured, is a good word to describe. You know, they are We don't tell. They don't tell stories. No, that's bullshit. Go fuck yourself. They absolutely tell stories, and we've had stories going across multiple months, multiple shows with
Multiple
AEW this year.
years.
Yes, and
And just the 4-way tonight for the men's championship.
Yeah.
We were talking about this last week. That's 4 men who have years worth of history with each other, and it's ongoing.
And even before they were in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they do connect the dots. Yes, they do bring back around, and like I said, it's a much more. It's still the same action. It's still the same wrestling based that it is finally has found its niche to be.
Yeah.
But yes, they're definitely becoming a more mature product while still giving what fans of the product know and love. But
and we've seen real quick. We've seen Tony Khan in interviews recently, like the past couple weeks or so, gearing up to tonight's show, talking about some changes that they've made and some tightening of the screws that they've done this year. I can't remember who it was with, but I saw that he had said in a podcast interview that with new additions to the roster this year, he's focused more on bringing in people who will kind of fit in with the roster and the whole, for lack of a better word, vibe of what AEW is and what type of wrestling show that they are. And he focused on finding people who can fit into that, who complement nicely, rather than making big, bold moves. So I've definitely noticed this year, he's not signing every free agent that's out there. He's not signing every single person that gets released from WWE. He's being much pickier in picking the people who he's adding to the roster. And we've seen Speedball and Kevin Knight and Tekla, I think are the biggest ones that have just seamlessly added to this roster.
Yeah, well, it's funny. They talk about in regular sports, building a culture, having a culture around the team or an organization. And Tony, of course, with himself and his family involved with the Jacksonville Jaguars football team, he absolutely is borrowing some of that from the Jaguars and bringing it to AEW, because I can't agree more. The roster that they have now, besides being just immensely talented in ring, it's definitely a vibe that everybody's there. Kind of, it reminds me a lot of TNA.
Right.
Everybody's got the same mission. Everybody's pulling the oars in the same direction. No one's, trying to go into business for themselves or anything like that. And overall, it's just a very good vibe. And I hope it continues for the next 20, 25 years or more.
Yeah.
But all right. Since everybody's waiting for our expert opinion, let's get right to it. 0 Hour opens up with a tag match.
Yes.
A ladies tag match. Score one for the ladies. With 2 new additions seemingly to the AEW roster. And as a tag team, you have the Sisters of Mercy, Sky Blue and Sisters of Sin. Sky Blue and Julia Hart, who have been absolutely killing it all year, against a brand new, brought in as a tag team, not just single wrestlers thrown together, Maya World and High End, who we have been seeing more and more on AEW programming. And yay, just because both of them, both High End and Maya World, are favorites of ours and have been really standout indie performers for quite a while. And I'm very glad to see them both have this opportunity. And ever since AEW announced and brought the women's tag team belts to fruition, I think we're going to start seeing more of this. And I'm all for it. I can't, TV time is, as we all know, is very limited. Even with AEW, that you're talking of mostly a total of 4 hours a week. 2 hours for Dynamite, 2 hours for Collision, give or take. That's a crowded landscape, especially with how good those rosters are, both male and female. So to make that impression, to be on TV and be on consistently, you got to be doing something right.
Yeah.
And, this is another one where people may not be familiar with, even AEW fans may not even be familiar with High End and Maya World. They don't follow the independents as closely as we do, but folks, stay tuned. They're both really good, and they're going to make a noise and a splash, and a very, very talent-rich women's division.
Yeah, they are really, really good. Maya World and High End, we've been seeing them on the indies killing it. AEW has always been known for, scouting local talent, scouting indie talent. They've done a great job of featuring a lot of indie wrestlers, many of which we have seen ourselves in person. And High On and Maya World took the opportunity, like Billy said in the chat, they took the opportunity. You never know what an opportunity is going to be to you. And two other people, Nixon Newell and Miranda Alizé, they were, brought in as extras. They were not signed talent to AEW. They were brought in as extras to have a match on TV with AEW stars. They decided that they didn't want to take that opportunity, and somebody else stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really, really happy for Maya and High On. And they went from, stepping up and being a last minute addition to just a random match on AEW TV, and now in the pay-per-view pre-show with thousands and thousands more people watching them.
Yeah. It's probably the biggest stage either one of them has ever performed on.
Yeah.
When you add in the television and against pay-per-view audience.
Against stars like Julia and Sky. It's a huge opportunity for them. And they did the right thing. And they said, yes, we will take every single moment and opportunity that we possibly can. And look what it's done.
Yeah. Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing that match. The other match on 0 Hour is everybody's going to love this match except one guy. He's in the chat right now. And GFY, Neil, I don't care, because it is Grit Your Teeth versus Redeem These Nuts.
Yes.
Zach Gibson and Eddie Kingston in a singles match. Now, we know Zach Gibson, of course, is one half of the Grizzled Young Vets that have been making a lot of noise on Ring of Honor programming as of late.
And we watched Ring of Honor last night.
Yeah.
They set up this match.
Yes, and I think that's very cool. Finally, the light bulb. We have this other company over here that, has tradition and has, history and has talent on we can use. And that's exactly what this match was brought about. If you're not familiar, there's been an ongoing back and forth between Grizzled Young Vets and Eddie Kingston playing out on Watch Ring of Honor television and on their shows. And it came to kind of a head last night, leading to, like Deb said, the announcement of this match on 0 Hour. So, and I think, like I said, I think it's very cool that they're incorporating even Ring of Honor stories and, and bringing that, now they do run their own pay-per-views and everything for Ring of Honor, and that's all well and good, but to have something like this on their, on the Big Time Network, on the Big Time show, I think is very cool. And I'm again looking forward to it because Eddie Kingston is Eddie Kingston, and Zach Gibson is a real British strong style type of wrestler, brawler. Not a lot of high flying in this one. Ain't gonna be no tope, flippy flop, blonde.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston's not doing that.
It's gonna be a lot of chops. It's gonna be a lot of European uppercuts and forearms, and it's gonna be have a fight feel to it and spirit of the fight, especially with Eddie Kingston. So, again, very entertaining show to round out 0 Hour.
Yeah, I hope Eddie wins that one, just to spite Neil.
Yes, Absolutely. Because fuck him.
Because fuck him.
All right. All right. So we're on to the main card now. And where do you want to go first, Deb?
Oh shoot, where are we? You know what? Let's talk about the Continental Classic first.
Okay.
We have remaining matches for the Continental Classic. The semifinals of Kyle Fletcher and Mox, and the other semifinal, Okada and Takeshita. And the winner of each of those will go on to the final later on in the evening. Oh my God, this is gonna be intense, and this is something that I've been looking forward to for a while. Okada and Takeshita, that has been brewing for months. That is gonna be big fight feel. You want to talk about big fight feel?
Yeah,
that's gonna be
I absolutely agree. And
yeah,
also, I mean, Mox is Mox, and we won't go into that. But how about the year Kyle Fletcher's had?
Yes.
You know, and the great thing about this tournament is you can make an argument, a legitimate argument, and a very valid one for all four of these guys to be the Continental champion.
Yeah.
Easily. But and I'm really kind of surprised. We have all been waiting, salivating, hoping, praying to have Okada versus Takeshita. We know it's been coming, from the, so sorry, I hit wrong button. This tension has been building. And but I'm actually kind of surprised they're doing it before Okada has the final match with Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom coming up in a week. And I thought that they would wait till that was over to do this. But it's the holidays. Tony obviously is in a giving mood. So let's do it right now and cannot wait. Regardless of the winner of the actual Continental Classic that's your match of the night because everybody's been waiting for it. It's the partial implosion of the Don Callis family.
Yes.
Despite, that no sock wearing Kanuki and, F Don Callis chant here.
Yeah.
But we've been absolutely waiting for this and we're going to get it tonight. And I don't think this is, it's big stakes right now. But I don't think it's going to be the end of it. There's more to this, and it's going to carry on into 2026.
Absolutely.
And I think, and hot take, or my own take, Takeshita is a babyface.
I think
I think that he breaks away from the Don Callis family, becomes a babyface, and basically wages war against Okada and Don Callis and everything else. And it kind of makes sense to me to do that because you have to remember Takeshita is the IWGP champion.
Yes.
Basically, so he's going to have obligations in New Japan to defend that title. So
especially coming up.
Yes. And so I think it'd be easier for him to have to go away for a while because of New Japan commitments as a babyface, because then everybody can go, yay, he's back. Who's going to be up from Don Callis family now? Maybe he finally beats up Don Callis. Who knows?
Ooh.
That would be cool. I hope
that would be fun. I like that idea.
Those expensive loafers off those no sock feet of his and beats him in the head with a bloody. Give him another scar on that big overly spray tanned forehead of his.
Yes. Well, and this morning on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, they replayed the Busties, and Don Callis was not very nice to our own Tommy Dreamer.
He's never very nice to Tommy Dreamer.
Not very nice. Not very nice
at all.
No.
He is an awful no sock wearing Kanuki.
Yeah, I really do want Takeshita to kind of be the one, like you said, be the one that breaks up the Don Callis family. There's been the cracks in the foundation for a while now. Something happens during that match with Takeshita and Okada, which can be another breadcrumb to lead to what's going to keep happening going forward. On the other side of the semifinals, Fletcher and Mox, like you said before, Fletcher has had one hell of a year. I'm sorry, I have to say his full name, the protostar, Kyle Fletcher.
Right. Say his full name.
I have to say his full name. One hell of a year. And I think people forget that Mox can really fucking wrestle. Like, yes, we know that he's kind of known for the hardcore matches, the death match style, but for those that really pay attention, those matches are really only a small portion of what he does. And he can really fucking wrestle a regular match. And I think sometimes that the people forget that. People forget that he's really, really good at this. There's a reason why he's been at the top of the industry along with his Shield brothers for this many years.
I agree. And he's a long way from the small venues and BFW halls and bingo halls of CZW. But you're absolutely right. The man is absolutely one of the very best in the ring and can wrestle. And I think the streak of good fortune, other than losing the TNT title to, who do you lose the title to, Deb? Oh, that guy right there. Of course, I'm talking about the Sussex County Chicken, Mark Briscoe. Anyway, we won't go into that. But is this another loss for Moxley, who has been on a losing streak?
Yeah. Yes, this is another loss for Mox. And same thing, the breadcrumbs, constantly laying breadcrumbs in their storytelling. And this is going to be another step towards Mox kind of being dethroned. And we've seen him do a lot of promos by himself recently. It doesn't feel like he has the backing of the Death Riders anymore. But there hasn't yet been like a blow up. There hasn't been a confrontation yet.
There's been enough of the breadcrumbs to say everything is not well with the Death Riders. And I low key want to see Kyle Fletcher win this tournament. Yes, I do too. Because obviously this young man is destined to much bigger things in AEW and in wrestling in general. And, I could see us from 1 year from now at next year in World's End in 2026, I could legitimately see Kyle Fletcher challenging for the AEW Men's World Championship.
I can as well. Yeah.
All right, where do you want to go next?
Let's do FTR versus Bang Bang Gang. The Bang Bang.
Yes. Where? Why can't I find it?
It's in the middle there. FTR versus the Bang Bang Gang. And so we have Stokely Hathaway in the background behind FTR. I'm wondering why we don't have Ace Austin in the background behind the rest of the Bang Bang Gang.
Because they don't want you to feel good. That's why. Deb is a huge Ace Austin fan. We all know about it. Everybody needs to know about it. Deb is low-key in love with Ace Austin.
Low-key? Shit, I think I've been pretty outspoken.
Well, I'm not trying to make you sound like the stalker you are with that guy.
No, I'm not. I just want him to be on my TV as much as possible. Yeah, I only want good things for him. It's all right.
That is true. No, go ahead.
But yeah, I know he will be there. I did see him post. He will be there. I don't know if he'll be out with them. I am looking for the Bang Bang Gang to get this one so that FTR and Stokely Hathaway continue to implode.
I like it. I don't see it on the Bang Bang Gang. Not this version of the Bang Bang Gang.
Oh, that's true.
If it was the Guns, absolutely. Even if it was Juice and Jay White, absolutely. But
yeah,
the Bang Bang Gang right now is just kind of a placeholder till Austin Gunn and whatever they're doing with Jay White finally gets them all back together, and then they can start making sense of it. Plus, I don't mind FTR with the straps right now. This heel run that theirs has been fantastic, but the having the belts is kind of the last little bit of, not that they really need it, but it's that last little bit of legitimacy. And much like we have a very strong women's tag team division now, well, I got news for you, fellas. Outside of Jet Speed and FDR and Brodito, name me a tag team in the AEW that can be champion
right,
in the men's division.
Right.
I'll wait. Anyone?
Yeah. I love Brodito. Oh my god.
I do.
Brodito is my favorite.
And the same with Jet Speed. Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight are, fantastic. And but unlike the women's side of the roster, the men's side, y'all got to come up with some tag teams and good legitimate tag teams.
Right.
And because right now, as usual with AEW, and nobody wants to admit it, the women are on top. They're absolutely, for lack of a better term, kicking the guy's ass when it comes to.
You mean AEW can use their women's roster?
I didn't say that, but what they are using of it is, especially in tag teams right now, is way better than the men's.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yes, it still has the belts still have the new car smell and everything too, but out of the gate, they're definitely overshadowing the men.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Yeah, I do think that we need some more tag team action. However, the tag team that has had something brewing is the Acclaimed, Max Caster and Anthony Bowens.
Yes.
Another case of in breadcrumbs every week.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another example of how every single week we're getting a little bit more with the backstage promos, with things happening in the ring during their matches. We're getting a little bit more every week, and it's coming. It's gonna happen. We got the tease of the scissor, and it was taken away.
Right.
But it will happen.
They're going to do it eventually. And it's been such an entertaining ride getting to them to get back together.
Yes.
It's going to happen, folks, but enjoy it while it is, because they're both showing they're really good at pissing each other off and all that. And it's going to make, when they finally do get together, we're all going to be like, yes, finally we can scissor again. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great no matter what. So
it is going to be great.
Little patience, little time.
Yes.
Let it cook.
And I love the way that they've done this, because, if they were going to get the Acclaimed back together, I think a lot of fans, like the Acclaimed broke up. I think mostly because Max was getting so much heat for some reason. Right. And I don't know if it was just because of his raps or whatever. He was getting so much heat. So they broke up because the fans weren't cheering them as much as they once were. And I think, unfortunately, even though both of them, what they were doing singles, was kind of starting to get over, especially Max, his 5 minute challenge. was slowly getting over, but I think, most fans were like, just put them back together. It's fine.
Yeah.
But they could have done it quickly. They could have just said, hey, we're back together. But no, they actually made it into a story.
Yeah.
And are giving us the teases along the way until it finally happens.
Yes. Absolutely.
What do you know? All right, moving on. Let's go to Gabe Kidd and Darby Allin. This was kind of a late addition to the card. Although I really enjoyed the little wrinkle in the detail that he was at the same steps that Darby was thrown off whenever that was. I can't remember how long that was.
2 years ago?
Something like that. That sounds familiar.
But it's a nice little tie-in. Cool detail. Yeah, it's a nice little tie-in. And on the face value, it's kind of a match for the sake of the match to have Darby on the card to me. But not here's the problem. You have Gabe Kidd, who is really good and seemingly fits AEW very well.
And he's still a New Japan talent, so we only see him every now and then. Right.
And situations like this, he just appears out of nowhere, causes havoc, and we have a match, which is fine. But I would really, if they're going to use him with big name talent, they got to get him around more so people, to the fans, understand who he is, what he's about. Oh, he's the mercenary. Well, no shit. Okay. We always see him once in a while. But I it's going to be a crazy, chaotic match because Gabe Kidd's a crazy bastard, just like Darby is.
Just like Darby is,
Darby's going to get ragdoll all over the ring, all over the arena.
Yes.
Seemingly busted in half about 8 dozen times this entire match. And toward the end, probably a coffin drop and 1, 2, 3. So,
yeah.
But it's a fun entertainment. It's a fun one to watch in between.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, there's gonna be a coffin drop. Somehow, how does Darby always have such incredible aim on his coffin drops? I think there's only been one, and I can't remember on which show it was, but there was only one that I feel like I was like, oh, that wasn't, it wasn't a perfect landing. But most of the time, he has exact, precise aim, and it's pretty crazy.
And he's not, and he's hit people on top of, like, the guy, the one time, I forget who it was, we did the coffin drop onto a whiskey barrel and nailed it. That's perfect.
Yes.
That's either somebody that just doesn't give a fuck, which obviously Darby doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
But that's a lot of skill.
It is.
I know I can do it. I couldn't do it. So
yeah. All right, moving on. Let's go to. We have the Death Riders versus the Conglomeration. Mixed Nuts Mayhem. Whatever.
They got girls in this one. Look, there's one right there, and there's one right there. There's girls in this one.
So I think, okay, so at face value, it has a silly name, Mixed Nuts Mayhem. These 8-person tags are always kind of, wild and crazy, and it's going to be fun overall. Yes. But I think we may have overlooked the fact that the people involved in this match are going to make it absolutely killer. Yes. And we will see more of Marina Shafir and Toni Storm facing off against each other, which I mean, if you have an issue with that, I don't know why you're watching wrestling.
Well, yes, and I agree with that, and I'll second that with Toni Storm has absolutely made her niche in AEW. She makes people stars. Anyone that works with her becomes a star or becomes a bigger star than they already were.
Yes.
And apparently, and bravo, about damn time, let's give the problem some shine. And that's exactly what it's going to do. Because Tony, at this point, has kind of been through everybody else, all the big names on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
And here's something now. Marina is a regular. She's a member of the Death Riders. She's been involved in many different things, but nothing like if she was in a program or some sort of a story coming out of this with Tony Storm. That's the stamp of confidence. Like, yeah, we're ready to go with this girl. And finally, because she is that good, besides just being an absolute ass kicker, legit ass kicker.
Yeah.
Her working with Tony is such a contrast in style that it absolutely makes you like, yeah, I want to see this. I've been wanting to see this, even if you didn't realize it. And, the rest of the guys, Wheeler is Wheeler, but, that aside, if you look at it, it's Claudio, it's Dane Garcia. But on the other side, Roderick Strong, who has been a reluctant member of the conglomeration, Orange Cassidy, who we know is super entertaining and can wrestle, and of course, the head of the conglomeration and the word of the day is Mark Briscoe. So again, a match that doesn't really mean much outside of Tony and Marina, and what could potentially be. But again, it's going to be a real fun, crazy match to watch. And really, there's not much else to say. There's no titles or anything. It's just your side versus my side, and we're going to fight, and we'll see who wins.
Yeah. I think that the conglomeration is winning this one, just so we get the continued degradation of the Death Riders. And I think that's going to be kind of a thread throughout several of the matches, pretty much, as we've talked about, that, we are going to see that thread throughout the show of the issues in the Death Riders. If Mox loses and then the rest of the Death Riders lose against the conglomeration, there's going to be a lot of friction there. So I think that's kind of even with the Gabe Kidd and Darby match, which, like we said, is a last minute addition to the card. But I think it's more to kind of set up what could happen in the aftermath of the match. Sometimes matches are pretty much set up just for the aftermath. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for tonight. I don't see how the conglomeration loses this one.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
But going to be a fun match to watch. I hope they put that in the middle of the card so we can just sit back and relax and watch some good wrestling. All right. We're into championships now.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll start with this one.
I love the poster that they put out. I think it's really cool. So cool. And the artists that AEW works with are just really, really good at what they do.
Yeah, round of applause for the AEW visual arts and graphics
because they have been killing it. Shout out real artists.
They have been killing it all year with some of these special kind of one-off posters and promotional things that really visually grab your interest. Like, wow, okay, now I got to see this.
Yes,
and mission accomplished. But we have the current reigning, defending, and inaugural women's AEW Tag Team Champions, the Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale, Harley Cameron, in their first ever title defense. Oof. Talk about being thrown right into the fire.
Yeah.
I don't know how many belts it is now. Mercedes Moné.
I feel like I read that she's down to 10. Unless she's lost some more in the last few days. I don't think so.
We won't go into what I have been saying all along. We'll save that for another show. But it's Mercedes Moné against the forever and longest reigning ever Ring of Honor champion, women's champion, the Fallen Goddess Athena.
Yes.
Wow. Talk about, no easy matches defending the belts right off the bat. You get those arguably two of the best women in AEW right now, teaming up just to take those belts off of them that they just went through a tournament to win.
Right.
And that's exactly the reason why they're not going to.
Exactly.
Both of them seemingly have egos, regardless of their in-ring ability, which is great. The egos of that team of Mercedes and Athena, it's going to implode before it ever wins a championship of any kind. And I do love it, though, because here is Mercedes, who has lost a few of her belts, most notably the Rev Pro Championship and the Ring of Honor Women's Interim Championship that she had. So she's losing belts. Now it almost seems like she's desperate to get one back, and doesn't matter what it is, just because she wants another belt. So why not team up with Athena? Why not try to win the tag belts, as she has stated, soft champions? So but it's not going to work out.
Agree.
It's not going to work out.
I agree with you that the Babes of Wrath are going to win. Like you said, they just won the championships. There's absolutely no reason for them to lose. And Billy says in the chat they need wins like this to cement them as, the top stars. And I definitely agree with that.
Fair point.
Yes. And Mercedes and Athena tagging together is fun for me because of the personality that both of them have, which is why it's going to be even better when they lose.
Yes, because then they could sit and scream and howl like they both do when something doesn't go their way.
Exactly.
And you're right. It's fantastic to watch.
Yes.
But, all
right. Moving on. What do we got next?
We'll do this one. And ladies and gentlemen, mark it down. This is my match of the night. For the AEW Women's World Championship, the current champion, Chris Statlander, against He Hits Hard, Jamie Hayter. And
it's going to be first? Incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic match. And obviously, I'm going for Stat to retain. We love Chris Statlander here. She's a Creative Pro alum.
Yes.
We support Creative Pro and all of the lovely people that they have brought into the wrestling world.
Right.
Yes, it's gonna be a freaking fantastic match. And thinking back to something that Stat said in the post show for Full Gear, where she pretty much said, like, people need to stop looking at me like I'm the underdog. I'm the champion. I've beaten, all of these people across the roster. And tonight is another chance for her to really, really cement that and show that she's not the underdog. For some reason, people still, even though she's a champion, she's holding the title, people still view her as like she still has to prove herself in some way. Tonight is going to make a statement.
And if it was anybody else involved, I 100% would be rooting for Jamie Hayter, just because her initial run as AEW Women's Champion was so just outshined by a certain DMD that it was like not even noteworthy. And
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, and she's really good, and she absolutely can carry a championship and a division. And I was, like I said, was anybody else but Stat, I would be rooting for Jamie to get that validation and of her own to, hey, I'm a former champion for a reason. I am that good. and hopefully she would have a shot at the second run that would be much better than her first. But I agree, Stat retains and still, and maybe sets off a rivalry because they started to get a little chippy with each other. It started off very friendly, spirit of competition, this and that. But
yes,
the claws were coming out in the last couple of promos leading up to this, so might be something going forward.
I would love to see that too, because a champion defending her title is one thing, but having that rivalry to sink your teeth into is just on another level. So yeah, I would love to see them kind of have an ongoing thing where we get multiple matches out of this across, like going into next year and throughout the whole year. I would love to see that thread continue. We don't have to just have her keep defending her title against different people.
I would love to see not exactly the same build, but something very similar to Tony Storm, Mariah May.
Yes.
I think that would be fantastic for both of them and really absolutely do a lot for them both. So that leaves one final match, your main event of the evening. The now fatal four-way, thanks to that meddling Jewish man from Long Island, and made his triumphant return from his marriage and time off in movies, etc. Of course, I'm talking about He Is Better Than You, and you know it. Maxwell Jacob Friedman turned this original triple threat into a four-way for the AEW Men's World Championship. You have MJF, Samoa Joe, Hangman M. Page, and Swerve Strickland.
Yes. So I know Billy asked in the chat earlier, and I didn't show it because I was saving it. For this, I wore my All Elite Baby shirt.
He doesn't wrestle anymore.
Because it's been a topic of discussion that I've seen in various threads this past week or so, and MJF even brought it up in an interview with Sean Ross Sapp, which I highly recommend. It's honestly fantastic. Sean Ross Sapp sat down with MJF at a convention. Was it WrestleCon?
No, it wasn't at WrestleCon.
No? Is after that? Yeah, it was after that because I think it only happened like last week or so. 20-minute conversation, and MJF was kind of in and out of the storytelling character. But one thing he brought up was better than you, baby. And how for some reason there's this revisionist history going on that everybody claims that that storyline sucked. It didn't suck. Everyone loved it. Everyone was enjoying every single time they were on TV. But like MJF said, Adam Cole had to go get hurt and ruined it all. But I wanted to wear this shirt tonight, not only with the tie-in for MJF, but just to, kind of put a reminder out there that Adam Cole is awesome and we all love him.
All right, who wins?
God, this match, it's tough for me because I love Hangman Adam Page. Everyone knows this. I absolutely adore him. But they've done a really good job of convincing me that MJF is winning. If MJF wins, I don't know what that means for Hangman and Swerve going forward. We have a very interesting alliance with Hangman and Swerve. And even on Dynamite, when they were holding down MJF and with a chain around his throat, there was a really poignant moment when Swerve kind of looked directly at Hangman as he was talking to MJF. So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens to them going forward, but I do think that MJF is winning. I think that will kind of shake things up a little bit more, and then we see, you know, how Hangman and Swerve will treat it going forward, continuing to chase that title that both of them want.
I agree. The Hangman Swerve story is far from done, and they can continue it even just on their own, not about a title or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I've read a lot of the same things you have and seen a lot of the same things. Oh, this is a no-brainer. They brought MJF back now to put the title on him. And I don't know if that's the best thing right now, though. Max has proven that he is very good on the chase as well.
That's true.
That, you know, and really tells a good story on that chase. And I'm partially biased because out of the four of them, my absolute favorite is Samoa Joe. I've been on the Samoa Joe train for almost 15 years now, at least, probably longer, and no signs of getting off. Joe is a legitimate champion. No matter how many times they put the belt on him, he makes you believe that he is the best in that particular company and division. He is, you know, he checks all the boxes for a guy that doesn't look like he checks all the boxes. He is fantastic in the ring and can go and go and go no matter what. He is absolutely brilliant on the mic.
Yeah.
You know, he can make you believe that he is the baddest man in that division, in that company. I don't like the idea of a placeholder champion, or he was only put there to, you know, keep other stories going or hold the place till MJF or even Will Ospreay comes back. I don't subscribe to that train of thought, but I just, for some reason, again, I'm looking forward to next year, and they can absolutely run this back with all four of them going further into the new year than tonight. But I honestly don't know, because all four guys have a legitimate claim and legitimate experience being the guy, being the champion. So I'm just going to sit back and watch it and see how it unfolds. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be, and the one other thing, folks, do me a favor. Do yourselves a favor. MJF can fucking wrestle.
Yes, he can.
He has proven it. He has proven it. Don't just say he's just some guy in the mic. No. He has developed his body. He has developed his moveset. He can absolutely go in the ring with anybody at any time, anywhere. So quit saying that MJF can't get it done. He absolutely can. He has. Mind you, this is the guy that went 60 minutes with Bryan Danielson.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And that honestly, I would probably put that up there with my favorite matches in AEW history.
So to say that he can't, he's just some guy on the mic. He's good on the mic, but no.
Yeah.
Actual Jacob Friedman can absolutely wrestle, and they're going to have a fantastic banger of a match as a main event. And out of all the matches on the card, justifiably, I know we've had things in the past with AEW, like what should be the main event and who should be the main. This four-way match absolutely is the main event. It's been the main event since they announced it, and we're in for something really to finish out the year with.
Yeah, truthfully, if any of these four men win, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Because like you said, they all have a legitimate claim to that championship. And I think this has been set up perfectly. I think this year for AEW, the first half of the year was leading towards Hangman beating Mox at All In July. That's how we spent the first half of 2025 with AEW. And I know, you know, we discussed it every week constantly that, you know, I saw the vision that they had towards Moxley eventually losing that title. And I thought it was executed absolutely perfectly. The second half of the year, you know, has been, I think, mostly setting up for tonight, for all four of these men to face off against each other for that championship. And when I can't remember when it was first announced that MJF's contract had to be announced at least a week ahead of time. You know, which is obviously a huge difference from the way that we are used to seeing those contract situations happen. You know, we've been kind of conditioned because of Money in the Bank to think of those contract opportunities as like a surprise run-in. And when it was announced that, you know, he had to state at least a week ahead of time when he was going to cash in, a lot of people were like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. Yeah. Now, looking back at it, that was setting up for this. Yeah. That was setting up for the opportunity for MJF to come out 2 weeks before the match and say, I'm going to insert myself in this match.
Yes.
That was setting up for this to happen. And I do think the second half of this year has been a plan leading up to tonight.
Well, we have dealt with, especially since July and the title change, you know, we haven't had a Swerve Strickland. We haven't had a Will Ospreay. We didn't have an MJF. Well, why not? You have Swerve back. And now you have MJF back, and Will Ospreay probably early in 2026, when he's done healing, will be back. And that'll be even more interesting because you still have that bullet in the chamber to fire off as well. You know, the roof, whatever arena they're in, the night that Will Ospreay comes back, they're going to blow the roof off of it.
Oh, it's going to be so awesome.
I can't wait. Look how crazy AEW fans went when Kenny and the Bucks got back together and brought back you know, and nobody really had it on their bingo card, but it happened. And you know, now we have that going forward into the new year to see what was happening. You know, this entire year, especially with the Bucks, was they lost everything, basically.
And they had to get built back up.
Right. Now they're basically being built back up. And going forward, now we have the Elite back. So
yes, and really, I remember Bully saying it on Busted Open at least several times. You know, you have to tear someone down to build them back up, and that's exactly what they've done with the Young Bucks.
Absolutely, it was so entertaining to watch.
How they went from like hated to like I don't even want you here anymore. To slowly, like, you know, becoming entertaining again, where people are like, this is pretty funny. And then where people are legitimately cheering for them.
Yes. You know, and the whole run of the downfall, we were all in stitches for it. It was like, yes, these little two arrogant pricks from California. I don't care if they're good Christian boys. These two arrogant pricks that, you know, legitimately, they're executive vice presidents of All Elite Wrestling. They helped create it and start it. You know, to see them to get their just desserts and take this tumble ride, you know, down the steep hill and hit rock bottom was fantastic. But you're right. Great. Now we're on the climb back up. We're on the climb back up to the Young Bucks on a face run. And, you know, especially now with teaming with Kenny again, and everything's back to, you know, being all nice.
It's going to be fun. I'm really excited for 2026 for AEW. I think 2025 was an awesome year that we saw so many improvements. We saw so many new stars be made. We saw the roster kind of just, you know, tightening up to like I don't know how to describe it. Like everyone works well together, and everyone seems to be really enjoying themselves and having a good time and enjoying what they're doing in their work and having amazing matches on a weekly basis. I'm really, really looking forward to 2026 for AEW.
Yeah, who knew? Go figure. Not having a very toxic locker room can actually make good wrestling and
And I'm not just saying it. I'm not just saying it. Sports Illustrated said it.
And Bleacher Report. And I thought I saw something earlier in the LA Times. They had some sort of editorial on it. And I think it was World News Report as well. But that's really just a dirt sheet. So anyway.
All right. All right. Zero Hour is starting.
Yeah, it's starting.
Gotta go watch RJ and Renee and Jeff Jarrett make a fool of themselves.
Yes. And some of us have to travel overseas to watch the pay-per-view.
Yes, we do.
So Deb, how can the folks interact with you on the social medias?
I am at That So Debonair on the Twitter machine, the Instagram, the Blue Sky. Find me in all three of those places, interacting, posting random stuff, sharing everything that I love, and click the link in the bio.
Very cool. Why can't I get to mine? Oh, I can't get to that. Oh, well, it was going so well. And then it wasn't. But I am John in South Jersey on the Twitter and the Instagram. And also on Instagram is where you can keep up with the exploits of the most dangerous weapon in all of professional wrestling. Of course, I am talking about the AK-9K, the Ass Kicker 9000, coming soon to the side of the skull of your favorite wrestler, God willing. And you can follow all of his exploits at AssKicker9K on Instagram. And we're going to do the cold exit because I can't get to. We had so many graphics and all that good stuff.
I can do it.
You can do it? Well, then do it.
I can do it. All right.
So, for myself,
have a good night.
With Deb, see you all next week. Hit the button.